Hi Scorpio, this is your general reading for April the 18th to the 24th. It's very hard to shuffle this deck, so I'm going to shuffle it in bits. I normally shuffle this off camera. I have been shuffling it off camera, but did few last shuffles there for us. This is a general reading, Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Rising, so do check out your other signs. Just take what resonates, and this is very early days in the channel. I really appreciate everyone who's visited. Do like, subscribe, share if this resonates, and fellow Scorpios, or you just like the reading. I'm using the True Black deck, which I'm not seeing a lot of on YouTube at the moment, so yeah, it provides a slightly different look and feel, I suppose. Well, certainly a different look, and some of the cards read slightly differently as well. But so far so good. I'm enjoying it. Hope you guys are too. Let's get to the reading and see what we've got for you next week. So in the situation, we've got the Three of Pentacles. This has come up quite a bit. It's come up 2 or 3 times in the other readings. Really nice card. So you've got one pentacle is pouring soil onto the ground, or earth. The other one is dropping seeds on the ground. The third one's watering it, and it's growing an oak tree. So it's a long-term plan. It's about working together. It's about synergy. That thing won't grow without all of those things. So really good. Don't know if it's a love reading or a career reading, and again, it could dip in and out as the reading goes through. But let's just see what the next few cards bring us. Abundance with the Nine of Cups. That's a real sort of what's the word? You bought a Rolex because you could afford it, but it's not a showy off card. It's just a real abundant, good solid feeling. Those cups are filled with grapes and wine and money, and it's just a beautiful, abundant, really positive energy card. Near past Knight is the Page of Swords. All the sword cards, particularly the court cards, are that sort of clarity, that cutting through. He's actually cutting through the brambles here, and it's releasing the fruits of his endeavours. They've sort of cut through. So yeah, a moment of clarity last week, or in the near past. Near future, we've got a Triumphant Victory. It's a short-term one. It doesn't make it any less important, but it's not it's a victory, like signing the papers on a new house. So it's that small step onto the next one. Very well deserved, very well received. Down at the bottom, Queen of Pentacles, a safe space, nature, nurturing, a very calming energy, a very stable energy. She's got a snake and a bird, which again, if the bird was a hawk, it would be, you've got 2 predators coming together. And it's a very aware card, but yeah, very nature, very, very spiritual, very safe place. So that's a really nice foundational card to get there. Wow, this is looking really good, Scorpio. And then the head of the matter, what you see as the situation, is the world. And the Fool goes on his journey, and the last card is the world, and he goes through this portal. I call it like the leveling up card. It all changes. It's yeah, it's literally like coming to a stage where you could say, well done, level up. So you go from level 1 to level 2, where he goes, try again and come back around. So the Fool goes back into his journey again. I mean, he does that anyway. It's not a win or a fail, but it was like, that was a successful chapter to my life. Now I'm going to go into the next chapter of my life with all the experiences I got the first time. So that's a really nice positive energy there. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it as a love reading, but if it was, it would be really good. You've got the sort of working together thing there, so that could be relationship based, and then it's very successful. Near past, there was this sort of moment of clarity, like, do you know what, that's what we're talking about. And then that lovely safe space here. These are cards that are kind of going away. They formed this message here, and these are the ones for the future, for next week. And then they're going to lead to the staff down here, which is how you see the situation, how others see the situation. So that could be internal influences and external influences. External being things you can't control. And then you've got your hopes and fears, which is always a really weird card for me. I'd prefer it if it said hope or fear. It's great if you get a bad card, because you go, well, clearly that's a fear. And if you get a good card, Not that there are really good and bad cards, you know, at the tarot. Each card, depending where it sits and what it relates to. But, you know, something like the Three of Swords is a sour card. So yeah, that would be a fear rather than a hope. But we'll see. We'll see when we get there. And obviously the final card, the outcome. And then I'll clarify all of these with another reading on top. So how you see the situation, how you can influence it. Seven of Pentacles. So that is similar to the Triumph here. This is like, there's the list of all the stuff. So it's like tick, tick, tick. It's all done. It's all looking great. You know, there's a, sorry, that's off camera, isn't it? There's a pentacle here. Here are the other six. And it's about finding the balance. Well, it's not really finding a balance on this card. It's just weighing up all that you've done. And it's you've got a small pause. So it's a bit like, if it was a work reading, it's like you saying to your team, great job, you know, we've knocked it out of the park this week. Now we need to, with the world card, move on to the next chapter. Sales were great, they're going to be better. If it's a relationship, you go, had a fantastic week last week, let's work together to make it even better. But you're showing off the results of your effort here as well. This is not unknown, this is stuff that's seen and can be seen. Other people see it as finding the balance. Yin and yang, you know, temperance, mercy, as simple as, really. I mean, I always find the temperance card really hard to read because it is what it says. It's being temperate, you know. It's the opposite of the devil energy. You know, the devil energy is, why not drink the whole bottle of wine instead of one glass? Whereas temperance is exactly the other way around. It goes, you don't need the whole bottle, just have a glass. Wasn't that delicious? Now let's go to bed. As in, go to bed to sleep, not... Anyway, so temperance is just that. It's finding the balance in all things, and there's a yin and yang symbol above the head there, just to really, you know, put that idea through. And you can't really see it in this card, but in the shadows in the background there are both flowers and swords, and again it's that good day, bad day, you know, just finding the good in the bad and the bad in the good. Hopes and fears, the nostalgia card, you know, those are Americans call them candies, we call them sweets. They're delicious, but they don't sustain you. They're not a meal. There's nothing wrong with them, and there's nothing wrong with lots of them now and again, but it just warns us not to live too much in the past. So, you know, oh, wasn't it great last week when this happened? It was, and we use that as the experience to build on to the next week. And then your final outcome, yeah, the Ten of Cups. Great card. Card of wish fulfillment. It's normally a rainbow with a family underneath it with all the cards there. It's the top of the cups before you go into the court cards. And it is, I mean, down here it's hard to see particularly, but this is a wreath made from swords. So all that kind of difficult energy that everyone has in their lives has been reformed into a bouquet, into a crown, or the basis for this message here. Baby breath at the front there. It's just a lovely, warm. It's a wish card basically. It's a really nice way to end the week. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a very Scorpio-like energy. You haven't got a challenging week next week at all. It's really nice. Energy on the bottom. The moon, signs and portents. I'd watch out for those. This deck talks about the unlimited potential that's in this card. So that's really interesting as well. So I think there's a lot of energy to be had, but it's all really, really positive. It's all quite known. That's what I'm getting. There's no surprises in here. It's not like your boss walking in and going, "You're great," and you go, "Really?" You know, it's like, "Oh no, I've been pretty good with this week, and I know the boss is going to tell me," and yeah, the boss does. Or in a relationship, your partner coming over and going, "We're brilliant," you know, and it's like, "Yeah, I know we are." Lovely, lovely, warm energy there. On top of this, so we'll hang on, let's clarify that. Let's give this a bit of a shuffle because I haven't done it yet. So let's go into, we have Chariot, Victory and Control, Triumph. So Triumph and Triumph there. Really good week, Scorpio. This is going to be great. Across the top of that, we have Freedom and Celebration. This is looking really, really good. Really good. Top of that, we've got the Death card. So in the near past, there was something new that came in, and that was the end of something. The Death card is just about transformation and the end of a thing, you know, the end of a way of doing something, not even in a bad way. You know, we used to drive to work this way, now we drive to work this way and it's better. Or we used to go this way, now we go this way because there's roadworks. You know, it's not the big deal some people make it out to be. Near future, a little bit. So after the Triumphant Victory, you've got the Burden card. But this is a Hercules beetle that can carry 100 times its own weight. So even though someone is on those branches and getting a free ride, you're able to carry them. But that doesn't last long. You're almost at the destination. It's almost over. So I think at the end of some days next week, you might be a bit, that was a day and a half. Yeah, it's fine. You've got all the skills to do it. Doubling down on the outcome card there. Wish fulfillment on top of the world. Scorpio, this is, I think, the best reading I've done this week. Really, really good week coming up. Down at the bottom, we've got communication. So something's coming in. It's going to be fast. You know, it's all these 8 of Wands are sort of thundering through and bringing all these messages with them. So it's an important message. Time of action next week. You're down here. This is the 8 of Cups. This is sometimes it can be seen as a bit negative, I suppose, is a bit too strong. What it is the situation at the moment, although it's good, it's time to move on to the next one. In a more traditional reading, there's a person who's ignoring all the cups and setting off into this path, but it's a known path. They know where they're going. They're not leaving a job and going, what do I do next? They go, that was really successful, now moving on to the next one. Can kind of mean a promotion, mean a next stage in a relationship. So wow, very rarely happens. Temperance on top of temperance. Couldn't make it any clearer. You know, it's about finding the balance this week as well, that real solid yin and yang, as above so below, conscious subconscious, seeing both sides, which can be difficult for some of us. I appreciate that, but I think this is a really, really solid positive reading. It's still not telling me that it's work, and it's not telling me that it's romance, so it's got to be what resonates with you. It's quite unusual, this reading, because others have been a bit more obvious as to what they're talking about in my own head and heart when I've been reading them. This, to me, sits right down the middle. If you're in a relationship and that's what you're taking from this, it's going to be a great week. If you're in work and you're taking from this, it's going to be a great week. Knight of Pentacles. Just checking that. Yeah, so Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. He's actually creating his sword out of his imagination. It's made from water. His armour is borderline ridiculous. He's got a mask on because he can't see where he's going. But hopes and fears, this is a dreamer, which ties in really nicely with the nostalgia card. So he's thinking about what once was. And also, you know, the great thing about this card is it talks about you can't build it until somebody's dreamt it. So while sometimes you go, I was just sat in a corner and daydreaming, well, maybe that daydream turns into something solid, you know, further down the line. So again, paired with the nostalgia, it's actually quite a great energy to have. So don't worry, I would listen to your dreams this week. And again, with the moon underneath, that also tells you to, you know, go into your sort of inner self and think about things and that dream state. The only thing about the moon is, you know, sunlight is sunlight, comes from the sun. Moonlight is sunlight bounced off a marble in the sky. So you've got to be careful about illusions in this one, you know. So here I would say, yeah, think about the past and also just go into your own kind of dream state, but don't be fooled. Don't go, oh yeah, last week that happened. It's like, did it really? That's what the moon sort of tempers it down to. So I'd be careful of that. Yeah, by all means use your imagination, but don't distort the truth. Yeah, that's that read there. And then the final outcome, and again you've doubled down. That's 3 cards you've doubled down on, Scorpio. This is really good. So we take those 3 double down cards. You got the 6 of Wands, which is Triumphant Victory. You know, the lion has eaten the hunter, which is great. There's flags in the background. There's a knife in the ground, which is the end of hostilities. That's a great read. So you take that card and Temperance, and what was the other one? And the 10 of Cups. Go and read about the 10 of Cups. It's a great card. So you've got the 10 of Cups and the 6 of Wands as your outcome next week. If you've never done tarot before and you drew those 2 cards, Scorpio, and you went online and read about them, or if the book that comes with the cards, you read that, you know you're in for a fantastic week next week. This is really good. Energy on the bottom, choices. The 7 of Cups. So again, on top of the moon there, I would say there are choices to be made next week. They're all positive, which is why it's going to be quite difficult. But you do need to make a choice. You know, don't just sit there and let the choices disappear. Um, you know, do I do this, or this? Well, it doesn't matter. You need to do one of them. But it's going to be a really good week. Scorpio, I'd be Scorpio all day, every day next week. This is looking fantastic. I'll see you next Sunday for more of the same. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.